Welcome to Running Plays with Coach P. Wade. I am Coach P. Wade. And y'all, we are in 2025. I'm super excited. I know for sure this is going to be a great year. It's going to be an amazing year. I've been saying it, 2025 is going to be the best year alive. And I truly feel that in my spirit. I truly feel it. And I'm ready to go. And I hope you're ready to go. And as I was thinking about what my first episode of this year was going to be about, I started thinking about how everybody's like new year, new me. Everybody comes in, bursting out of the gates with so much energy and just ready to go for the new year, which is great, which I love. And I think we all should do that. But what I don't want to happen, and what happens for so many people every single year after year after year, we set these goals. We have these New Year's resolutions. We do the vision boards and we say, this is what my year is going to look like. This is what I'm going to achieve. And then halfway through the year, or maybe not even halfway, it could be a month in, 3 months in, all that kind of goes to the wayside because it gets hard. It gets challenging. That adrenaline is gone. That mood that we set it in is gone. That emotion, that excitement of it being a dun, 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 new year, all that. Happy New Year, right? All that is gone. But what I want to change for you this year is that I don't want you just to obtain things for a little bit. I want to talk about how we sustain things, sustainability, being able to keep things going, being able to obtain it, but keeping it going, holding on to it, keeping that status, keeping that situation, keeping that circumstance, whatever that is, whether it's a fitness goal, not just losing the weight and saying I lost 10 pounds and then you gain it back, not just achieving the financial goal, not just getting the career, the promotion, and then not being able to sustain it, not just getting the relationship, but you're not ready. Hey, y'all know I'm gonna go there, so you can't keep it, right? Being able to sustain, being able to keep it. A lot of us can obtain things but cannot sustain it. But this is the year that all changes. 2025, we're going to learn how to keep things, how to sustain it. And it's not sexy. Success is not sexy. The internet, social media, Instagram, it makes it look so damn sexy. But I'm here to tell you that it's not. It requires systems. Right. Who wants to hear that? Success requires systems? No, I just want to get the money. I just want the bag, right? No, it requires discipline. It requires dedication. It requires more than hustle, right? It requires consistency. Because once you get it, then what, right? It requires consistency. Y'all, if it comes fast, it can go fast. I'm just going to say that, right? But I want to talk to you all tonight about how we can sustain the success, how we can sustain the things we achieve this year and not just obtain it for a little bit. I don't want you to be able to post your fitness progression goals. I want you to post them, but I don't want it to just be early in the year. By summertime, you we close to Christmas, Thanksgiving, holiday season. I'll catch up again next year. And then we're in this cycle. Then we're living out sequels in life. Like I said that in a video recently, like the sequel, like part 2 to a movie, like Scream 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, let's stop. We're not doing Scream 7. I don't know if that exists, but we ain't doing Scream 7, y'all. We are going to learn to obtain and sustain this year. I was recently reading an article about people who have won the lottery, but then they went broke. They won millions of dollars, y'all, and then they went broke. And I'm like, how? How does that happen? My brain, I feel bad for them, but at the same time, I want to know the how. Why? How can something like that happen? How can you receive? Some of these people got $300 million and went broke. Some got 2.1 and went broke. And I'm like, okay, cool. After taxes, family, friends, I get it. But still, I don't at the same time. But then what I realized, I'm reading each of the stories. You get the money. You start spending it. You live in the lifestyle. Cool. You're helping out family. You're helping out friends. You're doing all these different things. You're buying all the things you ever dreamed of, right? But you have no financial acumen. You don't understand finances. That goes back to having systems in place. That goes back to having discipline. just because you became a millionaire, you still got to have some type of discipline. You still got to have some type of structure, right? Within that, right? So I was just reading about it, and I'm like, how do people obtain this amount of money, but then they go bankrupt, or not bankrupt, they just go broke, right? I read about a couple that won $2.19 million. Then they ended up with just $10 and had to go work jobs just to try to make ends meet. And I'm like, that's crazy. But they had no structure. They had no systems in place. They had no discipline. They had no understanding of, okay, once I get this, how do I sustain it? How do I keep this going? So y'all, we gonna talk about how you can sustain. And I know the number one thing people want to sustain this year normally is this fitness journey that we're all on, right? Everybody's on a fitness journey. Everybody, when you go to the gym at the beginning of the year, Planet Fitness is deep. LA Fitness is deep. I go to Fitness 2020 here where I'm at, and it gets deep at the beginning of the year because everybody's like, new year, I want to change my body. I want to work out. I want to be healthier. And that's okay. You're going to be able to obtain it by going to the gym, by getting the gym membership, by having the gym buddy. You're going to be able to obtain it by getting the workout in, right? But how do you sustain it? And that's what we're going to talk about. When it comes to things like gym memberships, let me give y'all some tips on how you sustain. You sustain it by creating systems. A system would be, for instance, meal prepping. Meal prepping is a way that, because if you don't know, the way you keep your body in shape and the way you stay healthy is through nutrition. A lot of people think it's the gym. The gym is great. The gym, we should all just sign up for a nutrition class at this point. To be honest, like if we all understood the way nutrition impacts our health, we would probably be better off. But we typically go towards fitness because we like the look it gives us, right? We like the feel it gives us. I see so many people recording in the gym, including myself. We like that, right? Nutrition isn't sexy. Looking at the nutrition facts on the back of a package, I don't care about that. I want to hit the gym and sweat so I can feel what I'm doing. I can see it. I can see that sweat equity that I'm putting in. When I look at the back of a package, I don't feel anything like, you know what I'm saying? But that's actually the most important part. But meal prepping is a process and a system that you can put into place. That's how you sustain it. Scheduling your days on going to the gym is how you sustain it. Having an accountability partner or even a gym partner that you have is how you sustain it. Tracking your progress, those type of things. Once you hit plateaus, because you will hit them where you're working out, and you can't lose or you can't gain anymore, and figuring out how to navigate that, having a system in place. That's how you get through those things. So we can all obtain great things in life, but what I want to give y'all tonight is 5 things that we're going to do this year that's going to allow us to not just obtain success or obtain or achieve our goals, but to be able to sustain it. And the first thing we're going to talk about is developing systems and not just having goals. And that goes to what I was saying, like a goal is I want to lose 20 pounds. Okay. How are you going to do that? I'm going to go to the gym. Okay, what does that look like? Well, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week. Okay, you're going to go 3 times a week. What 3 days are you going to go? Right? We got to figure that part out. We have to have a system and not just goals. Because some people get stuck at, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. I'm going to gain 20 pounds in muscle, whatever the case may be. But you have no system. Create you some systems, put the systems in place, and not just having goals. Like, for instance, me and my nephew are going to be working out starting next week. He wants me to train him. We have our certain days that we're going to go. I know what his goal is. He's already given me that. I already know what my goals are, but we got the systems. He also has his nutrition plan, which is going to be given to him by his mom. I already have my nutrition plan in place. I know what I got to take to work. I know how many added sugars I can have a day. It's only 25 grams, y'all. Pray for me. But y'all, we have to have all those in place because we can go to the gym every single day and we might see some results. We might see the needle move a little bit, but guess what? We might obtain something, but we're not going to sustain it if we don't have a system in place. So the number one thing I want y'all to get, first of all, is to develop systems and not just having goals. And the second thing is consistency over perfection. Consistency over perfection. Because a lot of times we think we got to be perfect because we get on Instagram, right? We scrolling. They at the gym every day. They looking good. Lights, camera, action. Are they though? We don't know. We shouldn't care and it shouldn't matter. Be consistent in your own world. You know what? Go 5 days a week if that's what you're doing. Go 4 days, 3 days, whatever your goal is. I at least say 4 days minimum, but be consistent and do not quit. There's going to be days where maybe you had a hard day at work and you were challenged and you were supposed to go to the gym 4 days this week. This is a Thursday. You like, I'm not going today. I had a rough day. I'm going home to get wine, wind down, and get in bed. Give yourself grace. But if you're consistent, you're going to keep going. And that's not going to be, okay, this one day I felt bad, so now I quit. Now I give up. No. When you're consistent, you're going to be able to give yourself that grace, but get back. And remember, you're giving yourself grace because you're not perfect. Consistency over perfection. Do not compare yourself to these people on social media. Do not compare yourself to the people on the ground. We literally do not know what their life looks like, right? And I'm gonna switch it up on this next one for number 3. So number 1, we got create systems and not just goals, right? Develop systems and not just goals. Number 2 is consistency over perfection. And number 3 is to keep evolving. And I'm going to switch this up from the fitness and we're going to go into like career. We're going to go into your job. We're going to go into anything else that you can keep evolving in. It could be fitness, but I want to turn it into career, right? So keep evolving. You might get a promotion. Start the year off right. You might have got a promotion at the end of 2024, but how are you going to sustain it? The things that you did to obtain it may not be the things that you need to do to sustain it. And I run into that with a lot of people, a lot of leaders, right? You get this new job and you were great in your last position, but now you're in this new position. You got to keep learning. You have to keep growing. You have to keep reading. You have to keep studying. Just because you got the promotion doesn't mean you're capable of doing that job for real, for real. You're going to have to read a little bit. You might have to study somebody. You might have to ask more questions, but you're going to have to keep evolving. That's one thing. Once we get somewhere, a lot of us like to stop. Oh, I made it. Nah, you didn't make it. Congratulations. Let's take that moment and celebrate, but you're going to have to keep evolving. You're going to get in this new position. You're going to have to be able to adapt to new things. You're going to have to continue to grow. If you feel like you've made it, if you want to give yourself the pat on the back right there and that's it, you're not going to be able to sustain it. Continuous learning. What are you going to do differently this year to keep evolving, to keep growing? That's like me coming last year. I'm a motivational speaker. Saying I'm gonna be a motivational speaker, get on a few stages, get a few gigs. I arrived. So now I'm no longer going to study speakers. Now I'm no longer going to read psychology books. Now I'm no longer going to study. No, those things have to continue. You have to keep evolving. And I want y'all to remember that. And that goes for excuse me, that goes for anything, right? You have to keep evolving. And number 4, surround yourself with accountability. Number 1, you got to hold yourself accountable. But number 2, having people in your life that are going to hold you accountable is going to be key. Success is not made in isolation. So people that are successful aren't in isolation. They don't do it on their own, right? My pastor said something so profound today at church. I wish I could remember it. It was something about, being in pairs, having more people. That's the only way we're going to move ahead. He even gave the example of like being in the tag team wrestling. Like you can't do things on your own. I know we want to believe that we can go through this life alone, but no, it takes a village. It takes a team. It takes a partner. Surround yourself with people that are going to hold you accountable. Surround yourself with people that are going to hold you to a higher standard and not just allow you to keep going backwards in life. They're not going to allow you to keep just saying, you know what, I thought I was going to lose weight this year, or you know what, I wanted to make X amount of money, but do I really need that? No, surround yourself with people that's going to hold you accountable, because that's the only way you're going to be able to sustain the things that you want. And number 5, you got to remember your why. You have to remember, why are you doing the things that you're doing? If it's fitness, is it because maybe you had a health scare? If it's career, is it because you want to obtain maybe a certain amount of money? You're trying to create generational wealth. If it's relationship, is it because you love this person, so you want to keep this relationship? You obtained it, you gained their heart, but what are you going to do to keep it, right? Are you going to keep dating the individual? Are you going to do the things that you did when you first met them? Whatever. Remember your why. Why are you doing the thing that you're doing? You have to know your why, first of all. And then once you know your why, you have to remember your why. Like, a lot of people believe success is the finish line. So a lot of people believe whatever that moment is when you obtain the goal, that's the finish line. I'm here to tell you that is just the starting point. And I know it's like, well, dang, right? I got to keep going. You have to keep going. It's like the person, I met people that have gotten the weight loss surgeries and whatnot, and they get to obtain the results in a faster manner, and they end up gaining the weight back. It's because they thought they were at the finish line, and that was the starting point. They got there, right? That's their starting point. That's where now you really have to start being disciplined. You really have to start holding yourself to another standard, another level. You really got to push through it. That's the only way you're going to be able to sustain financially. Like, we can obtain money. Money is easy to get. Like, let's keep it real. There's so many ways to get money out here, but most people can't keep it. Most people can't manage it. We just spend it because we get it. We don't understand investments. We don't understand savings. Like, actual savings account, not savings account that just sit there, but savings account with compound interest. We don't understand these things. We don't understand property. We don't understand all these different things, right? So since we can't understand it, that's one thing we have to do is understand it. We can obtain it. We can get the money, but we don't sustain it. It doesn't last as long because once we start spending it, we don't have another way of it coming back in. So that's what I want us to really focus on this week is how do we obtain things and sustain it? And I didn't touch on the relationship tip that much, but I really want to now. It just hit me. When you first start dating someone, think about all the things some people do. They wine and dine, right? Let's go out to the finest restaurant. Let's go out to the movies. Let's go out to ice cream. Let's cuddle. Let's spend time. What's your love language? All those things. And then we fast forward months or years down the road, and no one's doing that anymore. There's no systems, no discipline, no consistency, none of that in place. And I'm not saying in a relationship you need systems, but in some you do. In some marriages, it's okay like to have a calendar of dates. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a system that makes sure that you and your spouse are constantly dating. Put that in place, right? Because if you don't, guess what? Time's going to go on. Life's going to happen. Days are going to be long. And then you're going to be like, when the last time we went out on a date? And you can't even remember. You have to have systems in place in order to sustain, right? You just can't, we can obtain so many things in this life, y'all, but keeping them, that's going to be the hard part. And that's what I want to leave y'all with. Y'all remember the 5 things I talked about tonight when it comes to not just obtaining things, but sustaining things, keeping them, develop systems and not just having goals. Remember, you got to be consistent over perfection. You have to keep evolving. You got to surround yourself with accountability, and you have to remember and know your why. Those are the 5 things. And we're going to go into 2025 with all this, and I'm going to talk about this more and more, but I really want y'all to get it into you. Like success, sustainability, it's not sexy. It's not the coolest thing, right? It might look like it on the ground, but in real life, it's not. It takes hard work. It takes effort. It takes intentionality. It takes consistency. It takes all that. But you have all that. You have all that inside of you, right? Sometimes you're going to have to give everything you have, right? You can have everything, but you're going to have to give everything you have. And I want you to know that as you are heading into this 2025 year, as you are headed on your fitness journey, as you are headed to make more money, as you are headed to build better relationships, as you are headed to complete and achieve all these things, I want you to remember that you can obtain it, but how you going to sustain it? And you could come back to this video over and over again, but I'm going to keep talking about it, y'all. And I just remembered I forgot to say, please like, please share, please subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate all the support. I'm going to keep coming with episodes, y'all. And that's all I got for tonight. Please like it. Please share. Please subscribe. And y'all remember 2025 is going to be our best year alive. Let's get it.